Hey!
How you guys doing?
This is your Audacy Live at the Hard Rock Hotel, New York, with Sid Sriram. So happy to have you here, man.
Thank
Congratulations on everything. Your voice, I told you this on Instagram, but your voice it makes me feel spiritual. It makes me feel grateful, appreciative, happy. Can you remember voices that did that for you growing up?
Sure. First of all, thank you. That means a lot.
Of
That's
course.
definitely the intention, so I'm glad it translates. I think for me, first and foremost, my mom's voice. She's probably the first person I heard singing when I was, like, before I could do much else. Music's been around. So that was a voice that really kind of guided me and probably instilled that spirit of gratitude, love, spirituality, all of it. And then as I got older, there were voices of like R&B soul artists of the past, like, Stevie Wonder, Sam Cooke, Donny Hathaway. Those were some voices that really kind of just stuck with me in a deep way, and also kind of maybe were the guiding spirit for me to really kind of instill that in myself. A.R. Rahman, who's incredible, just like legend, who's been my hero since I was as far back as I can remember. He's a composer, but for me, his singing was something that always really struck a deep chord with me, and countless others, but those are some.
Now, you knew from like a very young age that you had this gift, or?
Yeah, so I started singing when I was 3.
Okay.
And I think I kind of came out the womb with like the music in me. It comes in like a lineage. And so I knew very early on that it's something I cared about deeply. And my parents identified it pretty early on. So my mom started teaching me music when I was around 3 years old, put me on stage, or like I really wanted to go on stage. She has a school in the San Francisco Bay Area. So her school had a performance at UC Berkeley, and I was probably like 3.5. And I kind of insisted on being on stage, and my parents were like, cool, thought I'd be scared, but I fell in love with it, and here we are.
They never pushed you to do anything else? It was always music, music, music?
I mean, I grew up in an area of Northern California that was super academically like rigorous. So the pressure of that from, the infrastructure that I was a part of existed, but my parents I'm sure they knew that music was it.
Yeah.
I never really had the attention for much else.
Yeah.
So I knew, and their thing was like, okay, if this is what you're going to do, just really immerse yourself in it. So that's been kind of the guiding light.
When do you feel the most productive in your career? Is it when you're working on new material, when you just put out new material, when you're touring?
I think creating is a point where you feel very naturally productive. Like, it's not toilsome. It's just, especially this album, again, like I wasn't looking to make a record. I connected with Ryan Olson, producer from Minneapolis, very serendipitously through Instagram. And we caught this creative wave and momentum that was just like this undeniable force. And we were just hanging on and just like following it. So that felt super productive, but it did not feel like work.
Yeah.
It was like every day was just like being present, channeling, letting the music, hit me the way it hit me, and documenting that.
Right.
And it was a daily grind, but it was just it wasn't effortless. It took a lot of work, but it was, it felt like air, it's just like really, it wasn't, there wasn't toiling over anything,
right?
But I think also this stage of where we're at right now of releasing music, and in the climate that we live in, that's very digitally immersive, this also feels like a very productive time, because it feels like for me, this is, I wouldn't say a shift, but it's another phase of my career right now. And we're at the very beginning of it. And that's incredibly exciting. I'm 33, but I feel like I'm about 10 years younger because we're starting this shit again from the beginning. And I'm really grateful for that feeling. And putting this music out, building out the universe of what people are going to experience, whether that be artwork, visuals, or just even just like communications, like what I want to say with the music, outside of the music, how I want to say it, all those things, really being deliberate and intentional about it. That feels like a very productive time as well. it all feels like one arc, I would say, you know, and it started in 2021 May, and that's when we started, or June was when we started writing the music, and 2 years later, and we're putting it out now. So it just feels like this like thing.
You're like, I'm tired, man. I'm too productive. Like, I'm always productive. You're doing it, man. There's different phases. That's cool. I know on a couple of occasions you've covered We All Try by Frank Ocean. What draws you to that song? What's your relationship with that song?
So that project that's a part of, Nostalgia Ultra, it came out in like the spring of 2011, I believe. And that just was a magical time for music, because you had like Frank, you had The Weeknd, Bon Iver, James Blake, like all these like very cutting edge, boundary pushing acts that exist in like accessible music spaces.
Yeah.
They were just like breaking out at that time. And I was a senior in college. I went to Berklee College of Music. So especially for like music nerds, we're like, yo, this is some crazy shit going on. And it's also the time that I lost my grandfather and my aunt on my mom's side. And both of them, especially my aunt passing away, was just like this, a reality check that was super painful, and also like, you know, led one down various introspective kind of rabbit holes, but also realizations. And that song, We All Try, was just like a place of solace, you know, and it's one that I kept going back to. It felt like it was filled with questions and thoughts that were deeply profound, but also just put forth in a very simple, direct way. And something about it, the way he sang it, was just like, it really hit me. So I took a semester off around the spring of 2011, went back to college for the summer. And when I went back, we kind of accidentally covered the song, just in a classroom at Berklee. You know, just there was a piano there, just put one mic in between us and just did it. And it really changed my life. Because there was a lot of emotional baggage that I think I'd poured into that rendition of it. And we knew once we finished recording it, everyone just kind of looked at each other for a second like, yo, that was something for sure.
Right.
And it came out like a month later, we put it out, and it really kind of just like traveled a lot. And it was for me the first time that I was able to really see the impact my voice, or something that I, you know, put my soul into, the impact it could have globally. It really traveled. And so that song will forever just be super, super special to me. It's another like major milestone or point in my life that felt like a point of inflection.
Did you have a conversation with Frank about it?
I haven't talked to him yet.
Really?
No, I think like I'll stay a fan probably.
Dude, get in those DMs.
No, I'm good. I think I don't know. It's crazy. So like on this album that we made, another hero of mine, Bon Iver, Justin Vernon, who's kind of like played a pivotal role in a lot of the song. I got to meet him, and he's another person that's in that rarefied kind of air that I've really been a deep fan of for a long time. His music, again, that same summer when that album came out, I'd fall asleep to it every night just as a way to just like calm down. So I don't know. I don't know if they say, you know, they say don't meet your heroes or whatever. Right. Like, I don't know if that's all the way legit, because I did it and I love his music even more now. So yeah, I guess I'd love to meet Frank when the time is right. When the universe puts it together, I'll be present for it for sure. Yeah.
Before we wrap, you know, I think especially in the US, we love to put things in boxes, our music for sure. And when it's not in one of those boxes, sometimes it's harder for us to digest. So do you ever worry that you will have to compromise your sound somehow to reach the success, the goals you have here in America?
No, I don't think so. I think, so 10 years ago when that cover came out, so there was no one that looked like me that was like cutting through in popular culture, internet culture here in the West, really. There'd been some instances, but it was few and far between for sure. So at that point in time, I also didn't have my sound together. I hadn't taken the time to really figure it out. Now I feel like where the world is at, it's like a different place where they are very welcoming of things that don't necessarily very cleanly fit in one specific box. And then me, this album just feels like it's so uniquely what it is. And it's a statement. So it's not ambiguous. It does traverse different spaces and genres and such, but in a very specific, clear, unique way. So the statement, I think you have to hold people's hands sometimes for them to understand.
Right.
But all that requires is clarity. And the album is full of clarity, you know. For the first time, I feel like the way we treated my voice was just like with not too many effects, really letting it be straight center so people can hear all the texture of it, all the honesty in it. And yeah, I just deeply believe in like, if you make something that really, my barometer is this, while making music, while making this album, with every song, at some point when I was listening back to it, if it made me cry, then it got the check, you know? And that's the only thing and that can be tears of joy, pain, whatever. But if it did that, then if it's doing that to me, then chances are I'll do it to other people.
It's going to connect with everybody else.
So, so with that in mind, like the only belief and kind of ethos that we've moved with is letting that sincerity, the emotional, just kind of like connection and soulfulness. If that's at the core of every song, then we're cool.
You're going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. All right, Sid, how about we wrap this up with some songs? You guys down for that?
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा should have been there. I flew too close to the sun. Wings burnt, don't know where to go. I think I saw the edge. Should have been there. Bells ring and the deaf still cry. Felt first, and you start to question why. Silhouettes come alive, oh, somewhere inside. There seems to be parts of a time that never want to leave, never want to leave. Free like eternal waves, but in eternal wind. I think outside the edge. Come alive, should have been there. Should have been there. Should have been there. So we started that with a prayer to Lord Ganesha, which is a Hindu prayer in Sanskrit. And then that song that we just performed is called Should Have Been There. And it's unreleased on the album called Siddhartha, coming out later this year. The next song we're going to perform is called Do the Dance, which is out right now. Green light, your green eyes, I fall back. Bring back the street fights, I brought that for you. All that for you. Ooh, oh, oh. Green light, your green eyes, I fall back. Deep down, I know that you're the only one. Only you. Fault lines under the sunshine, covered in gold. Still don't know how I'm getting home. No, I'm not ready for peace yet, deep in my soul. Voices scream, no, I'm not letting. Hey, hey, do the dance as we fall. Never know. Nothing's normal, it never will be, it never was. Oh, several moments pass and fade to camouflage. Wilted under the sunlight like a corsage. Hey, thinking about things and all the ways they was. Hey, do the dance as we fall. Oh, never know. Hey, ooh, do the dance as we fall. Never know. Every little story sells a piece of you. Everywhere I go, I'm further from the truth. Hey, do the dance as we fall. Never know. Every little story says a piece of you. Everywhere I go, I'm further from the truth. Silly little games distract me from the way. Never know. Never know. Hey, green lights, your green eyes, I fall back. Bring back the street fights, I brought that for you. All that for you, all that for you. Green lights, your green eyes, I fall back. Deep down, I know that you're the only one. Oh, only you. Thank you. How you guys doing? You good? This next song is called Stance. Let's go. questioning the way it all grows without the light. Oh, tears, from where do you come? I'm trying to find the source before it turns into the night. Hey, I found the morning as a distant friend. You know you can't pretend. Hey, they say what doesn't kill me. Oh, gratify the only love I've learned to call my own. Hey, faith, far from me now. The magic of the pageantry has never worked on me. Oh, pheromones, yeah, a sadistic friend. You know you can't pretend. Oh, oh. Find your reason to spend the night. A sadistic friend. You know you can't pretend. Oh, find your reason to spend the night. Spend the night. Spend the night. Oh, me. Spend the night on me. Thank you. So like I was talking about before, we started making this album about 2 years ago and just really caught this creative wave. I was thinking about moving to New York, and instead I moved to Colorado, which was quite a shift. But around that same time, I kind of took this leap of faith. I was talking to this producer on Instagram DM, and he's a super in the cut kind of dude. He's like, come out to Minneapolis. There's some really cool stuff happening over here. And I'd only really made music either in India, in California, or here in New York. So I'd never really been to the Midwest and done the thing over there. I'm a creature of comfort. But again, my dad was like, yo, go check out what's happening in the Midwest. There's probably something special there. So I made the trip. And that 3-day trip kind of changed my whole life. Reinstilled a faith in serendipity and magic in the world for sure. And I met some of the most beautiful people ever. A few weeks ago, or maybe now a month and a half ago, we went to DC to do this Tiny Desk thing. And thank you. And you know, you go into those things always knowing that's a platform, and but the amazing thing about making this music is we never really had any ego in the room, and that spirit has kind of carried forward in everything that we do with it. So we went there, we had a good time, it came out, and this next song that we're gonna play, called Dear Sahana, is releasing on Friday, which is day after tomorrow, and yeah. And it's, I'm not gonna say it's my favorite song on the album because it's kaleidoscopic and it changes, but it's one of my favorites. And yeah, it's our last song right now. It's Dear Sahana.
Standing still waiting for a storm. Surround me in forces unknown. Go and shake the silence out of me. My will to be free. Take the parts of me that never meant thee. Oh, other parts of me that just won't sing. Turn around, don't mask me from sorrow. Color me in, I wanna stare it in the eye. The sunshine blinding, serotonin leaving through the night. Muruga, Muruga. Just as quiet as dawn, you crept up on me. I felt strangely in love. Felt heart still there.
That was our last song. We got Evan Slack on guitar. My name is Sid Sriram. Thank you guys for the love already. I really, really, truly appreciate it.